12. And this would make sense. But this is not correct. Okay, so for this problem, the 30% in the problem is that cats have declined 30% in recent years. So if the cats have declined by 30%, that is the percentage of the decrease. But what number do we have? It says the current cat population is estimated to be 12. 30% is the percentage of the decline, but we have the number of cats remaining. If we took the whole, just like before, we multiplied the whole, how many cats there are, multiplied it by 30%, we should get the number of cats that have declined or basically died. That's not what we have. 12 is how many cats are still surviving. So if you want to get the correct answer for this, you have to use the other part of the percentage again. So 30% have declined. What percentage are remaining still? So go ahead and write your new formula, and then we'll continue. Okay, so this would be what the actual formula should look like. So the percentage is 70%. That's how many are left remaining, and there are 12 cats that are still alive. So we want to get back to the original percentage. We cannot use 30%. We need the percentage of cats that are still alive if we're going to use the number of cats that are still alive, which is what we have. So we divide by 0.7 on both sides. I kind of did it quickly over here. And you get 17 with the remainder of 1. There's no point in continuing past the decimal in this problem because how can you have a fraction of a cat? So 17 is our answer. We will just leave it at that. Just a heads up for those doing this, there might be a second part of this. We're almost nearly done. There's only one more example in going over the assignment, but might be reaching the limit of this video. So there might be a part 2 that you'll need to watch as well. Okay, so last one of these, it says, example 5, Lou's math score on her achievement test in the 7th grade was at a 650. Her math teacher told her that her test level went up by 25% from her 6th grade score. What was Lou's test grade score in the 6th grade? Okay, so we know that we multiplied or had an increase of 25%. We're trying to figure out what she scored before that. Now the problem is, of course, what is going to happen if let's say her score was 100 again. So let's go over here. So her score was 100, and we multiply it by 0.25. We're going to get 25, and that's obviously not an increase. So we have an issue, because how can we go back if we don't have the right numbers? So we know 650, that's definitely the score that you got in 7th grade. But it's going to go up by 25%. So when we're doing these amounts of increase problems, when we have the whole, whatever it is, if we want it to increase by 25%, we want this amount, 100, plus an additional 25%. So how could we do that? This will give us the amount of increase, but we also need to have the 100 included. So there's a simple way to do this with increase problems. You just simply take the 100 and whatever percentage the increase is, 0.25, you add 100 to it, 100%. Because 100% will mean you're going to have this in addition to the 0.25 or 25% you're adding. So whenever you see a amount of increase, add 100% to it. So if it's an increase of 25%, take the original amount and then add 100 to it. So if it's like a 30% increase, multiply the original by 130%. And this will help you get the right amount. This will not work if you just used 25%. Okay, so now that you have the right percentage, we're working back for the whole, the W. So go ahead and set up the problem and then go ahead and work it out. And okay, so this is what your problem should look like. W times P equals F. The whole is what we're looking for, times 125% equals 650, which was the score. So before you do any work, remember, move the decimal only 2 places. So we have 125%. The decimal's on the right of the 5. You move it 2 places, you get 1.25. So divide 1.25 both sides. The answer you should get is 520. And we did the work over here. Remember to move the decimal when you're dividing. You cannot divide by a decimal. So there you go. You get 520. Okay. So let's quickly go over the assignment and then we are finished for today. Okay, so for these, question number 1 says store advertises 50% off an item that is regularly $300. So pay attention. What is the discount and how much you pay are 2 totally different things. 15% off. Okay, an item that was selling for $72 is reduced to $60. Find the percent of the decrease. Okay, so how much it did the item decrease? There's a couple different ways to do that. Remember, if you want to find the percentage of the decrease, you need to have what? So think about that when you write your equation. Okay, a baseball team has 80 players, shows up for tryouts last year, and this year there's 95 players try for a tryout. Find the percent of the increase. So how much did it increase? 80 increase by what percentage to get you to 96? So most of these are pretty straightforward in terms of using the percentage. Looking at these, and I believe 10 is the last one. You can work on 10 if you want, but if you want to skip 10, that's perfectly fine. To go through 1 through 9, make sure you're using your formulas and thinking about what you're writing. Don't just write whatever percentages are up there. You need to think. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of incorrect answers because you have to think in terms of a decrease. Is it asking you what is the final amount? Or is it asking you to find the discount? If you have the discount percentage, you're going to get the discount amount. If I take the whole, multiply it by the discount percentage, I'm going to get how much is coming off of that. So if you want to get the cost of the item, the sale price, you would, let's say if it's, I don't remember what I said, 30% off. If it's 30% off, then you multiply it by 70%, that would get you the sale price. 30% will get you the amount of the discount, which you still could use. You just have to do another step and subtract it. Okay, this video has been long enough, so I will stop it here. And any questions, post it in the comment section and I'll get back to you. Okay.